Hello my friends, welcome to my channel, Lindy's Magpie Reads. I'm Lindy, I read a lot, and like a magpie, I'm interested in all kinds of different books. Today I am going to be talking about 6 picture books. My original plan for this video was to pick up the 5 picture books that were finalists for the Canadian Children's Book Centre Award. The picture book category is called the Marianne Bailey Award, and I had read 2 of them. I thought I'll pick up the others and see which I think is the best. And then that led me to other picture books, a couple of them that are on the GG Youth Literature illustrated text category that has not been announced yet. The Marianne Bailey Prize has been announced. It's not one of the ones I'm going to be talking about today. The winner was Mina by Matthew Forsythe, and I talked about that way back in October last year, so more than a year ago. I will link that video down below. I gave it 5 stars. I think it's a great choice as a winner. But in the end, I just decided that the 6 picture books that I had out, all of them are on finalists or were on finalists picture book lists in Canada. So out of those 6, I used that as my judging pool, and I decided to put on my judging robes and judging hat and come up with my personal winner. Not an easy task. I do not envy those book juries, no matter what kind of category, whether it's picture books or adult fiction or whatever. Not an easy task. Though I can tell you that all 6 of these books are excellent. You're not going to go wrong with any of them. But I had my reasons why I put them in order, and I'm going to tell you about them from the bottom of the stack to the very best, number 1 at the end. And whether you're somebody who works with children or has children or grandchildren that you like to share picture books with, or you're an adult like me that just enjoys reading visual narratives, well-made picture books, I hope that you will find this video interesting. Miriam Körner's Fox and Bear is in 6th place. There's Fox, reading from Fox and Bear. I love this kind of metafiction. The diorama illustrations that Miriam Körner has done for this book are absolutely amazing. There's a little bit of paint that she's used, mostly for the fox. I love the underground scene where Fox is burying his treasures. And I also really like the construction aspect. The industry. The cardboard works really well for that, I think. But also it makes for a very monotone brown book, and that's probably why I've placed it at the bottom of my list. So even though the existential questions about being happy with what you already have versus the negative impact of unsustainable development, like all of that, great discussion questions, great illustrations, but I've placed this number 6 out of 6 of the picture books on my list. And next up, so 5 out of the 6 is I'm Not Sydney by Marie-Louise Gay. This one is a standalone book, not about one of her recurring characters like Stella and Sam. In this one, we first meet Sydney, who is being a sloth, and his friend Sammy says she is going to be a spider monkey. And next, their friend Edward. What animal starts with an E? He's an elephant. There are great lines like, the yellow grass smelled of burnt toast and red earth. And here he's saying, I'm king of the savannah, trumpeting. And the other kids join in. We have Anna Maria, the anteater, until it's time to head home for supper. A really fun story. Good one to read before bedtime. Think over what happened during the day. A celebration of imagination. I love all the white space that Marie-Louise Gay uses in her picture books. And great end papers, which you can see even in the digital version. But there are even better books in this list. So on to the next one. In 4th place, I have 111 Trees, How One Village Celebrates the Birth of Every Girl by Rina Singh with illustrations by Marianne Ferrer. This is not a current finalist. It was written in 2020 and it was on the Canadian Children's Book Centre list in 2021. It was a finalist then, and it's won numerous other awards. But I picked it up because I read a different book by Rina Singh last week, Once a Bird, and I was curious about her other work. So this one is a true story, and we learn about a man named Sundar, and starting from when he was a boy, and they didn't have enough food in their family. They had to walk a long way to get water. His mother died when he was still quite young. He grew up, had a son and 2 daughters. He worked for a marble factory, and it was not far from his village. He was very upset about how it was destroying the environment and tried to convince the company to plant trees. They wouldn't. He ended up quitting his job. This scene actually reminds me of the development stuff going on in the book that I told you about earlier, Fox and Bear by Miriam Körner. Anyway, Sundar has all these ideas about how to make life better for the people in his village. He doesn't want them to live in hunger. He wants girls to be educated, and he wants to heal the land. So he starts the idea that when every girl is born, they're going to be welcomed with the planting of 111 trees. He convinces people to do this. And so for over 15 years now, this is what has been happening. I will link a short video below about the village of Pilampri in Rajasthan, so you can see a little bit more about this. Marianne Ferrer's illustrations are very stylized with muted colors, but there's a joy and greenness that comes through, and the prosperity is there. And the best thing is the parents who sign up for this plan and have 111 trees planted also agree that their girls will go to school and be educated, and that they won't be married when they're young. I think it's not before the legal age of 18. So gender inequality is explained in the back matter, also ecofeminism, and it's a very inspiring book. Okay, we're down to the final three now. This one is by Jack Wong. It's his debut picture book, When You Can Swim. And I'm going to start with the back matter. Jack Wong explains that when he was an immigrant kid, his family came from Hong Kong when he was about 6, he felt that the public pool was never a comfortable place for him, and he talks about why that is. And that when he made this book, he says, I decided to make a book representing the freedom to discover swimming because representation is power. We can use it to depict the world we are striving for before that world is a reality for everyone. By showing differently colored characters, as well as those representing different genders, ages, sizes, and abilities, all enjoying the pleasures of swimming in nature, I wish to say to anyone who has ever been made to feel that swimming is not for them, yes, this belongs to you too. So not just swimming, but being in nature. So start out with a message to a little girl from her caregiver. When you can swim, first I'll take you to the ocean. And with the page turns, we are in different parts of nature. Here, floating on your back, watching the treetops, so either in a lake or a pond. The first time I went through this book, I didn't even notice that this girl has an artificial limb. They're in a river with a waterfall. Oh, the magic of seeing pebbles underwater and how bright they are. So again, you turn the page and you're somewhere else. This time the lake is steaming, but the water is balmy. This one is a pond in twilight. Here's diving off into a canal. And here's a tannin-soaked lake, pitch dark from tree bark. And in this one, there's a lovely sequence. When you can swim, we'll set our sights on that little island where I know the blueberries are sweetest every summer. And they've got visibility buoys. Takes them a while. Daring, conquering, and they make it over there. Find the blueberries. When you can swim, I'll take you there. The absolute joy of being in the water, in nature, and showing all of these diverse people enjoying that just makes me so happy. Jack Wong has a new picture book out, just came out this year, called The Words We Share. And I haven't read that one yet, but I am looking forward to it. He used pastels to do the illustrations in this one, and it, yeah, so gorgeous. Love it. Okay, the runner-up, and I really went back and forth between this one and the winner, Boobies by Nancy Vo. This one is actually on 2 finalists lists, the Canadian Children's Book Centre illustrated book list. It was not the winner, but the GG Illustrated Youth Literature has not been announced yet, and it is a finalist for that. This one is nonfiction, and if you think it's about the blue-footed booby, think again. You have just opened a book about boobies. Here is a blue-footed booby, nicely dressed up. Nancy Vo has used stencils and acrylic paint to create these images. But wait, the blue-footed booby does not have any boobies at all. Birds are avian, not mammalian. Mammals have mammary glands. In other words, mammals have boobies. Look, which of these animals have boobies? A dog? Yes. A cat? Yes. A hamster? Yes. A fish? No. Fish are not mammals. You? Yes. You are a mammal too. You are a human mammal. And on this page showing a variety of boobies, I quite like that she's gone with fantasy colors, and throughout the book this orange and turquoise are the main colors that she's used. It took me a while to realize that she's even got a mastectomy and double mastectomy represented on this page. We have mammary glands in boobies can make milk to feed babies. Human boobies are called breasts, so we call this breastfeeding. But not all milk comes from mammals. Some humans like to milk plants. Grain, almonds, soy. And then look, this new mama dog has 10 boobies, but the number of boobies is not the same as the number of puppies she can have at once. How many puppies do you see? So there's counting, there's the take a number, and if you look closely, there's number 101 is there, which is a fun reference for Dalmatians. She talks about different numbers of boobies on different mammals. Humans have only 2 boobies. The adults are discreetly turned away, but I like that the child is facing us. You can see the 2 nipples there. And details like the outstretched hand like a starfish and the sea star there. Most mammals have boobies in pairs, that is, in sets of 2, but opossums have 13 boobies. That's odd. A cow's mammary glands are in a bowl shape with 4 booby tubes. Utterly fascinating. This kind of punning and playfulness with language keeps the tone light, even though there's accurate scientific information. It goes on to talk about mountains named for boobies, Chinese slang for boobies. And look, humans have carved boobies out of stone and wood for more than 25,000 years. Boob biologists know that boobies have been around and round for a long time. So don't be shy, say it like you mean it. Boobies are great. And there's a note at the end about the sculptures that are pictured in that timeline. And a great quote at the end from Dr. Susan Love. Your breast is the only organ in your body that you are not born with. You come into the world with a nipple and lots of potential. so much fun. And now, my winning book, Lizzy and the Cloud, by the Fan brothers. In this case, it is Eric Fan and Terry Fan. Sometimes a third brother contributes, like he did on the book, The Barnabus Project. And this story also reminds me of the Fan brothers' The Night Gardener. So, why is this my favorite, my pick for the best out of the 6? Well, it got me in the heart. I do love the art, and I love the story, and it's the kind of book that you can look at details over and over. The use of this monotone, mostly gray, the pencil art, with little pops of yellow is so effective. And then you turn the page and it's in bright full color. So Lizzy goes running straight for the cloud cellar. Most people were in a rush to get to the new carousel or the puppet show. Clouds were a bit out of fashion these days, but not to Lizzy. So there's some in fancy shapes, but Lizzy wanted an ordinary cloud. So there's something about her personality that really appeals to me. Look at that little tiny rainbow. And here they are walking home. She's got her cloud. And there's so many details to look at. The pigeons, the zeppelin, with the advertising, Eat at Moe's Diner. There's a cat up there. There's a cat in the window. There's a more ordinary kind of pet, a man with his dog. And all these wheeled conveyances. The penny farthing bicycle, the old-fashioned tires on the car, the perambulator, another bicycle, the clock, the wheels of the clock, and the fact that it's called the stopped clock. Oranges only cost 1 cent. So she names her cloud Milo. She's got instructions for caring for her cloud. And she waters it, and in turn, Milo waters her plants. She takes it for walks on rainy days. It likes to go out. Just tiny little pops of color. There's at the florist. Yellow tulip on the sign. Her cloud keeps getting bigger until it's so big. Uh-oh. She had forgotten the most important rule in the manual. Never confine a cloud to a small space. And this rosy color of dawn, new beginning, and Lizzy's realization that it's time to set her cloud free. It's a message that's in so many other picture books, but it's just so well done here. Nurturing and growth, and then letting go, that's all part of the cycle. And she gets older. And just in case, she waves, in case it's Milo. And again, with these gorgeous illustrations, there's the guy in the penny farthing again. Here we have a couple getting married. Somebody with a ladder. So there's questions and things, activities going on that just add so much interest. And at the very end, you see that Lizzy has added
a seventh item to the manual. Let your cloud float free. And isn't that just so great? So I'm giving the award for Lindy's Best of the Bunch to Lizzy and the Cloud by the Fan Brothers.
All right, that's it. Thank you so very much for watching, and I hope that you will leave me comments down below. Have you read any of these picture books? Have I convinced you to pick up any of these picture books that you might not have been familiar with? Or anything that struck you about what I had to say about the books in this video? Love to hear from you. See you next time. Bye for now.